Jennifer Lopez explains why she doesn't see music as job. Good evening, everyone. Today, we're diving into a powerful and inspiring perspective from one of the most iconic entertainers in the world, Jennifer Lopez, on why she doesn't see music as a job. For most people, a job is something you wake up for because you have to. It's structured. It's scheduled. It's measured in hours, salaries, contracts, and expectations. But for Jennifer Lopez, also known globally as J.Lo, music isn't clock-in, clock-out work. It's something deeper, something essential, something woven into her identity. Tonight, we're going to explore her early connection to music, the emotional and personal meaning behind her art, the difference between passion and profession, how creativity transcends work, what we can learn from her mindset. This isn't just about celebrity insight. It's about redefining how we see purpose, creativity, and fulfillment in our own lives. Before the fame, before the red carpets, before the world tours, there was a little girl in the Bronx. Jennifer Lopez was born and raised in New York City's Bronx borough, a place bursting with culture, rhythm, Latin influence, and raw artistic expression. Music wasn't something she chose later in life. It surrounded her from childhood: salsa in the kitchen, pop on the radio, dance rehearsals after school. Long before she became a global pop icon, she was a dancer. In fact, dance was her first language of expression. She trained intensely, worked tirelessly, and even left home at 18 to pursue her dreams, sleeping in dance studios at times. Her early breakthrough wasn't as a singer, it was as a dancer on the television show In Living Color. From there, she transitioned into acting, famously portraying Selena in the film Selena. That role wasn't just a career milestone, it was a turning point. Playing Selena awakened something in her. It reminded her that music wasn't simply performance. It was storytelling, emotion, identity. It was connection. And that's when the shift began. Music wasn't a career move. It wasn't a strategic pivot. It was a calling. When Jennifer Lopez talks about music, she often describes it with joy, not obligation. Think about that. She's someone who has sold millions of records, toured globally, headlined massive events, performed at the Super Bowl. Yet she insists it doesn't feel like a job. Why? Because for her, music is emotional expression, personal therapy, celebration, release, connection. When she steps into a recording studio, it's not reporting to work. It's stepping into a space of creation. When she's on stage, she's not just fulfilling a contract. She's experiencing energy exchange, the kind that only live music can create. The audience gives, she gives back. It's symbiotic. This is the difference between external motivation and internal drive. Most jobs are externally motivated. Salary, promotion, performance reviews. But when something is internally driven, it feels natural. It feels necessary. And that's what music is for her. For Jennifer Lopez, music isn't separate from who she is. Some people say, "I'm a lawyer. I'm a teacher. I'm a nurse." But for artists like her, music isn't a title. It's identity. Her songs reflect her relationships, her heartbreaks, her triumphs, her vulnerabilities. Albums like On the Six weren't just projects, they were autobiographical moments. Even her more upbeat, dance-heavy songs carry emotional undercurrents rooted in her personal journey. When someone creates from lived experience, the work becomes intertwined with the self. And when your work is an extension of who you are, it doesn't feel like labor. It feels like breathing. She has spoken about how performing energizes her rather than drains her. That's a crucial detail. Many people leave work feeling exhausted because they're operating outside of alignment. But when your work aligns with your passion and identity, it can actually fuel you. That doesn't mean it's easy. It means it's meaningful. Now let's be honest. Being Jennifer Lopez isn't carefree. There's public scrutiny, industry pressure, constant reinvention, media attention, expectations to stay relevant. And yet, even under pressure, she maintains that music is not a job. Why? Because pressure comes from the outside. But passion comes from within. She has often emphasized discipline, rehearsals, vocal training, fitness routines, production meetings. That part is absolutely work. It's structured. It's demanding. But the core, the singing, the creating, the performing, that part still feels joyful. This teaches us something important. Even in something you love, there are difficult aspects. But difficulty doesn't cancel passion. You can train hard for a marathon and still love running. You can practice an instrument for hours and still love music. The effort doesn't make it a job. The lack of connection does. And she never lost the connection. Watch her perform. There's intensity, yes. Precision, absolutely. But also freedom. When she dances and sings, there's a visible release. It's almost spiritual. Many artists describe performing as entering a flow state, a psychological zone where time disappears and self-consciousness fades. In flow, you are fully present. That doesn't feel like work. That feels like purpose. Jennifer Lopez has often described how performing makes her feel alive. That aliveness is what separates passion from profession. And perhaps that's the key idea here. Music doesn't feel like a job because it's the place where she feels most herself. Now let's bring this back to us. Most of us don't headline stadium tours. Most of us aren't global icons. But we all have something that lights us up. The question is, do we treat it like a burden? Or do we protect it as a passion? Jennifer Lopez's mindset reminds us, when you love what you do, structure doesn't suffocate you. When you create from authenticity, it doesn't drain you. When work aligns with identity, it feels natural. She didn't start doing music because it was safe. She did it because she couldn't imagine not doing it. That's a powerful distinction that lets clarify something important. Saying music isn't a job doesn't mean she doesn't work hard. She absolutely does. It means the core motivation isn't money. It isn't fame. It isn't obligation. It's love. When love leads, the rest follows. And perhaps the deeper message is this. If you're doing something you truly love, the word job might feel too small to describe it. To understand why Jennifer Lopez doesn't see music as a job, we have to look at how she has evolved over time. Her debut album, On the 6th, was more than just a musical introduction. It represented the subway line she used to travel between the Bronx and Manhattan, a symbol of movement, ambition, and transformation. Music wasn't a corporate launch. It was a chapter of her life translated into rhythm. Then came hits like Love Don't Cost a Thing and Jenny from the Block. These weren't just catchy songs. They were declarations of identity. She was navigating fame while trying to hold on to authenticity. Over the years, her sound evolved. Latin influences, pop dominance, R&B infusions, dance floor anthems. But through every shift, the heartbeat remained the same, expression. When someone grows publicly through their art, it stops being a task. It becomes documentation of life itself. That's not a job. That's a journey. One of the clearest examples of her passion was her performance at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2020. Sharing the stage with Shakira, she delivered a performance that celebrated